Okay, here's the back page of our notes, the end of the notes for the unit. And we're starting here with example 4. It says you're using a roller to smooth a lawn. You can roll about 125 square yards in 1 minute. About how many minutes does it take to roll a lawn that is 120 feet long and 75 feet wide? Please notice that their speed here is measured in square yards, whereas our units are feet right here. So we are going to have to convert to the same unit of measure. It is, let's see, 120 feet long, 75 feet wide, so going with a rectangular shaped lawn here. 120 feet, 75 feet. Since we need to convert to yards for this 125 square yards, I'm going to divide each measurement by 3. So this will be 25 feet, or yards, sorry. Let me fix that. 25 yards when we divide by 3. And dividing 120 by 3, 40 yards. So if we know that we can roll 125 square yards, square is area, so we need to find the area of this to figure out how many minutes it will take us. So finding the area by doing 25 yards times 40 yards gives me an area of 1,000 yards squared. If we can do roll 125 per minute of these square yards, then we're going to divide this by 125. And then that will give me 8 minutes. Then it asks, is your final answer exact or approximate? Well, you're thinking maybe 8. That was a nice, pretty number. Seems like an exact answer. But in the problem, it says you can roll about. That means your speed could vary. So this is going to be an approximate answer. Because we roll about 125 yards square per minute, and the speed could vary or could change. Okay. The next one, example 5, is about a triangle, and they are sort of working backwards because they're giving the area and the base but not the height. So we have a triangle, and I'm going to draw in kind of a standard triangle. They gave me a base of 24 feet. I do not know the height. I do know the area. And I know that the area is the base times the height divided by 2, or 1/2 base times height, however you want to write it. So I know that the base 24 times the height h divided by 2 will give me the area of 216. So you can either multiply both sides by 2, or you can do 24 divided by 2. I'm doing 24 divided by 2 here. And then divide both sides by 12. You'll end up with a height of 18 feet. The next one is very similar. Oh wait, no, this is talking about example 4. In example 4, it says, suppose a lawn is half as long and half as wide as the lawn in example 4. Will it take half the time to roll the lawn? And explain. So let's start with a picture. Said we had like a rectangular lawn, and the lawn, and I'm going to put it in yards, it was 25 yards wide and 40 yards long. And so they say if it's half as long and half as wide, well, let's illustrate this. If it's half as long, that's like here. If it's half as wide, that's like here. So if it's only half as long and half as wide, then the portion that you're filling is really only this length and this width. And so that means that this portion of the lawn is what you have. And since that is not half of the lawn, then it's not going to take half of the time. Based on our illustration now, you can see that it's only going to take a quarter of the time. So over here I'm going to say no, it will only take should only take 1/4 of the time because that results in a quarter of the space. Now, if you did not draw an illustration to go with this explanation would not be enough. So definitely, add illustrations to help when you're explaining things. And then example 7 is another triangle. So triangle with base of 6 and height of 2. So sketching out a triangle, any kind of triangle. 2, base of 6, and these are yards. 6 yards for the base, 2 yards for the height. Sketch the triangle and find its area to the nearest square yard as well as nearest square foot. So I'm going to work this with yards and with feet. So 2 yards for a height would be the same as 6 feet for the height. And 6 yards is the same as 18 feet for that base. So for the first one, with yards, it'll be 6 times 2 divided by 2, which is just 6 yards squared. And for the one that's in feet, 6 times 18 divided by 2 will give me 54 feet squared. For my areas.